Welcome back. It's been a week and a half since I touched this, far too long. I really need to pick up the pace and get going on this. I got sidetracked. Um, this has been a really long running task on this project, and I really want to wrap it up. But, let's get rid of scroll pause. We've been talking about nuking its core data. That's what we're going to do. Let's move it to the dead folder and see what kind of damage the compiler does to us. I already did a search to see everything that touches it, so we're going to be breaking a lot of stuff in the process of doing this, which I'm fine with. Is there a way to easily drag from here to... my hand doesn't quite stretch. It's one of the problems with folders full of lots of things. It's probably a better way to do this. I'll just move it in chunks. Scroll pause. Although this doesn't actually move it in the directory, does it? Let's see. I don't know if this moves it in the project or moves it in the directory. Let's put it in alphabetical order. Yes. Oh wait, this is well, I don't care what type of file it is. I'm keeping these in alpha order no matter what. Scroll pause comes after script model. So where's the actual file? Oops. Let's see, open in, so there are no show in Finder. There we go. Yeah, it moved it. Physically moved it. Okay, that's good, rather than just virtually moved it. All right, let's see what breaks. Lots of stuff's gonna break. Being in the dead folder, scroll pause. Let's close down everything else. You know what? Sometimes it's just too much having all these tabs open. And what's our build look like? Build messages, undefined symbols. Linker command fail. I think we better do a full clean. Clean it. Start over. And build. Let's go. Rear. Let's get rid of the emulator. We're not going to be running for a while. It's going to take a while to fix broken code once this stuff gets moved. And then we'll start doing all the to-dos again. So in the process of getting rid of the old to-dos, I'm adding new to-dos. Isn't that fun? Undefined symbols linker. It should not have been able to compile because the headers got moved into the dead folder. And the headers are generally ignored, except there's one big Mondo header file that kind of pulls in a lot of things. And even when we move into the dead folder, where is that thing? It's this bridging header. I bet there's a scroll pause in here somewhere. Somehow it's getting pulled in. Well, the fastest way to find out is let's just put bad code in here and see who chokes on it. Okay. Yeah, it looked like this guy. Rehearsal app delegate. Unknown bad. Okay. Rehearsal app delegate. Can we just go from here, jump to definition? No, Xcode says no, sorry, I can't show you where that is, even though I just compiled it. Don't worry, I'm going to be bagging on Xcode plenty. I just can't help myself. It's too easy. Hard to resist. Rehearsal app delegate.h, that's going to be under legacy. It's going to be under Object-C, and I assume it's going to be under UI app. This guy. And there's already some other to-dos in here. Is there a scroll pause in here? Oh, I just rebuild again because it's cache that's pre-compiled headers. And getting away from C means getting away from that. Objective-C, C++, C, still all use header files. 40 years later. Clean build folder. All right, once my brain gets warmed up here, it's still a little cold. Although it was hot today, it's cold inside. It's always cold inside. Oh, clean. Yeah, let's build it. Press the button. Really need a clean button right here. Just a trash can or a squeegee or something like that. Of course, it'll be one of their obscure icons that nobody can tell what these things are. When I say nobody, I mean me. Failed to emit precompiled header. Can't you just tell me, show me who's doing the, oh, there we go. Include alert manager. So alert manager, wait, this is network manager, includes alert manager, included by rehearsal lab delegate, covered by the bridging header. So you can't show me this guy who's failing. RG alert manager. Let's go to jump to definition. Nope. Can't show you the definition. I know where it is, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. You got to guess. Alert manager. Let's see. This is going to be Objective-C again because it's a header. I'm going to guess it's a UI viewy thing. Alert manager. There's probably a way I can I type in here? Can I say alert manager? Alert. Oh, that works. So there I am, ragging on Xcode. If I just learn to use the tool. Skill issue. UI alert view is deprecated in iOS. Not, I don't care about that. Okay. Well, that's not very helpful, is it? Just not telling me. Let's go to legacy. Let's go to, well, the dead folder is not legacy, so let's do a find grep from here. Find grep star -hs, and we're going to look for scroll pause.h. Okay. Bunch of M files. Let's see, let's look at a .h. No. Core data, scene core data properties. That's probably the main culprit. We're gonna have to fix that. Scene JSON, scene. Yeah, because the scroll pauses belong to the scene. I mean, we should know that. The audio player is touching it. All right, so let's deal with that first. Let's get rid of this. And we are looking for core data. Where is our core data? There it is. And scene. Core data properties. All right, scroll pauses. There we go. Let's just break it. Rewrite ASAP. Let's keep that as our generic comment. Look at all these scroll pausey things. It's funny. That's like the only methods have to do with scroll pauses. Do I want to disable it, or do I want to just change the definition of scroll pause? Why don't I just make it an index dictionary, just like I did with line set? I think that's the way to go. That's what I did before for line set, right? Like if I look at scene, let's see. The line sets are not in the scenes. The line sets are in the script. Yeah, script core data. Let's see, is there a line scene thing in here? Not line scene, line set. Am I going to run into this with line scenes as well? Wait, line scenes and line sets? No, they've both been moved out. Core data class. Is there a type def, type aliasing going on here? There it is. Yep, so we're going to do the same thing to scroll pausey. So line scenes and line sets, we're going to type def it. it's just JSON. That's not really a to-do anymore, is it? I think we're okay with that. Line set replaced by JSON. It's not a to-do anymore. We've effectively got it working. Let's change these from to-dos. But I'm going to keep comments in here with a bang, bang, bang. And I don't need all caps. I don't need to shout replaced by dictionary. Instead of saying JSON, because we're not JSON at this point. I mean, I understand that's the source of where it comes from, but at this point in the code, it looks like just a dictionary that could come from anywhere. All right. Now a dictionary. Now merely a dictionary. Do I really want to say that? Line set, now merely a dictionary. Line set replaced, well, yeah. I mean, line set replaced by typedef dictionary. Typedef's below. Why don't you say typedef's below? That's kind of what I want. All right. So this same logic is going to come over into scene. So we're going to go to scene core data class. Right, see there's scroll pause. So we're kind of doing the same thing. Scroll pause obviously is a child of the scenes. So hopefully it'll be scoped just to that. And we want to just copy that. Of course, if I had Vim, I could do this faster. I mean, I could do it in Vim, but then you're popping in and out of the IDE, which is super annoying. All right, and then back to script. Up core data class. I hate how these things are broken up across multiple headers. So stupid. All right, that's my bagging on. Is this a Xcode thing? Is this an Objective-C like code style organization thing? I can't stand it. Look at how many files you end up with, and they're cohesively they all go together. Just jam them together into a single header. What is it trying to do here? Is this supposed to be easier to comprehend? It's not. It fails at that, my opinion. And you're stuck listening to my opinion because this is my video and you don't have to watch it unless you want to. Yeah, I copied this over, but what I'm really saying is scroll pause. Everything's just going to be a dictionary at the end of the day. One data type. It's like array programming. Everything's an array. Everything's a dictionary. Should be. No reason to make it not. It's not binary. Okay. So in theory, if we do that, we don't have to. So the question was, where was the header getting pulled in? The header is not getting pulled in by any headers. Well, I think I can do a regex on this. We should be able to say .star/.h. Can I do that? Well, I already did a search for just scroll pause and .h files. So none of them ever reference the header. That's weird. How does that work? I guess that's why when I moved the headers to the dead folder, that's why I only crashed on the linker, because there's no other code here that actually includes, same thing, imports the headers. It references the header dynamically, indirectly, by just having an incomplete class declaration here. So this is what does it. Okay. Core data properties. Why didn't it pick up scroll pause and core data class? Oh, there it is. There it is right there. Yeah. So here's where I redefine it. And it's just going to assume it's there for all the others. So I don't think on the scene, we can get rid of this. Script core data properties, we don't need that. Script, we don't need that. It feels like scroll pause is fairly contained. So hopefully that'll make it easy. We don't need to see any of these. We don't need to see any of these. And scroll pause, yeah. So I put bad code in there. But it's still got it. This file still got included because it crashed on that. The compiler choked on it. It doesn't look like it's getting included. Stray. Oh no, it is getting included by not headers but module files. That's what we saw, right? Yeah, there's a few imports there. All right, so let's kill those. Oh, look at that. It gets imported by the implementation of scene, not by scene's header. That's where it choked. Okay, so scene plus core data class implementation. Here's where we get rid of, here's where we kill this. Kill it and comment that we killed it. Now we shouldn't get any error. Well, we still got some imports elsewhere. Okay, scene JSON. Scene JSON here. Let's get rid of that. It would be interesting to see how quickly I can replace this core data object with a dictionary. Can I do it in a couple hours? Am I that fast? Not a fast programmer. Never claimed to be. File helper plus zip. File helper plus zip. Sorry, where's that? UI app, UI app, UI app, UI app. There it is. And it's an M file. It's an M file. Yep. Same difference. Get rid of that. Let's put a little stamp in there. And one more, audio player. That's the one that matters the most. That's the one that really uses it. Audio player, AV found, AV foundation, audio visual foundation. There we go. Yeah. All right. Good, go. Okay, still getting pulled in. By who? Who's pulling it in? You open these, it usually tells us who includes it. Bridging header. There it is. It's in the bridging header. Of course it is. Everything's in the bridging header. Bridging header should just be called all headers. All headers ever in the entire world. Okay, here we go. Yes. So it's the first thing that breaks. We're trying to get the scroll position, which I'm guessing is points. We're trying to grab a property off of that. Now we're going to replace that with property functions. Yes. Okay. Can't find type scroll pause. Here it should have been type deft. Scene plus functions. Doesn't seem to think it can find that type def. So it should complain that it can't use it, not that it can't see it, not that it cannot find it. You cannot find it. Same thing here. Cannot find it. Now this is Swift code. Swift code doesn't do an include. It just finds things by their declaration somewhere in the project. But the type def is an Objective-C, so it's not going to see it. Let's just go ahead and change these to the actual dictionaries, which it's a string key and an any. Wow. Yeah. Look at that extension. Monkey patching a fundamental class for an iterator of a specific type. Although now we have a type def to a much more general type. So this isn't going to work as a special case. It's going to work as a more general case. Yuck. I think we have to refactor this. Can't just drop this in here. And we got an extension on scroll pause itself. Extension on scroll. Look at this. Look at this. Scroll pause functions. That's where we're at. All this stuff has to be rewritten. All of it. Yeah, it's going to be a bigger task than I planned. Let's comment this crap out for now and see what happens. All right, we're going to do our if false, and we're to do it. Rewrite ASAP. Let's just if def the whole kit and caboodle and see what depends on it. Is that valid in Swift? I think it is. I think it recognizes, yeah. Well, this is still pulling in headers it shouldn't be pulling in. Yeah, right? That's dead. So we should be okay with it being dead. I don't know why we have script here. We don't need that. Scene core data class. Here's where we commented that out. Let's do a rebuild again. I think the build cache gets confused. It gets old, stagnant, cache stuff in there, and isn't sure that you're trying to get rid of it. This build system's not great for refactoring. Cache is too much. But it's slow because it's a ton of code. Here we go. It's a little more straightforward. Okay, here we go. Now we're not in scroll pause functions, we're now in scene functions. So here's where we could piecemeal rework some of these, because it doesn't look like it references in too many places. I mean, I'm sure we'll hit more errors than just here. So let's first go down to here where it says far point scroll pause. So an extension, a Swift extension on scene. I'm assuming we have to use extensions because can you just make an extension on an Objective-C class? Is that how that works? Do you not have to make it an Objective-C compatible, a Swift compatible class declaration? You don't have to put obj-C in there? Well, I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not trying to solve Swift Objective-C language issues right now. All right. Let's just go ahead and this is an array of a dictionary, string, any. Wait a minute. We type defed it, but we type defed it in an Objective-C. Yeah, and I already decided I don't want to keep type defs for now. I want to see the actual fundamental type. So it's a dictionary for now. And let's put our comment in here. See what happens with that. Right, it's going to have all kinds of trouble with this stuff. This is where we're dropping into core data here. It's possible a query could return nothing. So for now, we're going to if def this stuff. If false, same thing. We're gonna write ASAP. Seems like I'm typing the same stuff over and over, but I don't mind it. I'm thinking while I'm typing anyway. Yeah, we need to return something here. We need to return an empty array. Can I just do this in Swift? Is that equivalent to an empty array? Is it going to let me do that? Oh, I kind of messed this up by missing the open brace there. I commented out. Actually, keep it there. So let's see. An extension where we add a var to Swift class definition. I don't quite know all the syntax of Swift extensions. I try to avoid thinking, oh, if I can help it. So class function, I'm assuming, is a class level method. Var points would just be an instance level property member. That is this the initialization of it? Can you do that in Swift? Can you make a class declaration and put the initialization code for a member in line on the member itself? Why have I not seen that before? Maybe I haven't, just didn't realize it. Okay, well, it accepted that, so that's fine. And obviously this is a rewrite, so same thing. We're going to rewrite this. This might end up being easier than I thought. Rewrite, resup. I mean, I can't believe there's like only 3 references. And then here. Yeah. Check that out. Let's just return 0. It's only get touched in 3 places. I can't believe that. Probably just this one file. I'm going to guess it's just this one file. Do it to do, do it to do, do it to do. Rewrite ASAP. That would be amazing. No, there's another file here. Point Y, point Y. I see point Y in a few places here. Why are you only complaining about it there? I see point Y here, I see point Y here. This is interesting syntax. This $0. Swift is really schizophrenic when it comes to dealing with parameters and arguments. Sometimes they have 2 names, sometimes they have 1 name. Does that weird mangling of with, as, and changing the case when it has to map it to Objective-C, and then you've got these indexed indexes into the argument list. That's like, pick a lane, dude. That's the problem with these languages that try to cover multiple styles of programming. You don't do it very well. So restore frame, I see restore frame here. I see y point dot y. I don't know what this is. What does this return? $y. Well, obviously I can just return 0 here, right? Yeah, let's just inline this. To do. Rewrite ASAP. I mean, I'm going to be able to get diff. I'll be able to see all these diffs for now. We're not just going to let this sit here for very long. Okay, it's running into it in a couple of places. $0, same problem, time. So it's going to be a float, or can I just do 0 on it? We're going to find out. Time. Okay. I think we'll hit another one probably somewhere. Context for closure argument, let's expect one cannot be implicitly ignored. What am I ignoring anything? I'm not ignoring anything. Huh? What? The only thing I changed here is an argument reference to a literal value. Contextual type for closure argument list expects one argument which cannot be ignored. Oh, I see. I'm ignoring it now because I'm doing that. What do you care if I ignore it? This is some kind of generics, right? It's inferring types based on usage within the body. And since I don't use it within the body, it can't infer a type on it. God. If this was array programming, I could reference it and dump it. I could say $0, but I don't care. And the expander would be able to infer the type on it, but it wouldn't actually be used. How do I just need to get past this for the moment. Let's try this. $0 instead of saying y, can we say, this is a dictionary, can I say size? Let's see what that does. I just need an integer value. It has no member size. What is the size? Is it count? Is it length? Notice how it gets colorized depending on what I do. Count. Fred. No. Count, length, size. Aren't you supposed to autocomplete for me? Oh, but we haven't type inferred yet. We don't actually know the type. Dictionary's got to have a size, right? Number of elements. Is it length? It's just going to keep guessing. Length, size, count. No. Size of. Okay, here we go. Let's just go to dictionary. It's a dictionary, right? Or is it an array? Wait a minute. Is this an array of dictionaries? I don't even know. Well, scroll pause was a concrete core data class, and now we've replaced it with the dictionary. Swift dictionary. Yeah, let's just take a look. Do we have a size? Do we have a count? What do we got? Overview. Just give me some members that I can use. Documentation is really clunky. Count. The third guess was the right one. I should have kept going. I started with size, no. Length, no. Count, it's count. Make up your mind. Size, length, count. All right, so this other guy is it's a float. It's a float. Of course it is. Y value is a float. Come on. Can I say? What am I doing here? Can I just say 0.0 float plus integer? Can I do that? I'm going to get conversion. Cannot convert type event to type float. Oh, God. This is not helping me. What else is empty? Can I put a ternary in there? Capacities and int, keys, values. How about I do this? How about I say, can I do an if expression in Swift? I think that's something they added, but I don't think I can. Can I? Can I say empty, 0, otherwise not 0? Is empty, it says empty, right? Is empty. Is empty. Can I do ternary? 0.0? Else 1.0? Can I do that? I don't think so. Oh. Did I get away with it? I'm just trying to get past the compiler. This is not meaningful values. I'm just trying to fake out the compiler and let me get through it and then come back to deal with it. Okay. So one file's down. Let's go ahead and start saving this crap. All right. So get at, oh, I want to go up to source. It's a lot of changes. Get status dot stuff moved to dead, eliminated, and then we've already tweaked these other files. Okay. Let me go fix this one thing, because when I do renames, you don't want to actually make changes to the code. But in the dead folder, dead ski. Let me get rid of that. This will show up as part of the rename. I don't want that. Okay. Get a dot and get status. So it should show us with a bunch of renames. There we go. Everything moved to dead was renamed. And these were actually changed. Did we already make that many changes? Seems like a lot of files changed very quickly. Must be small changes. Yeah, we commented out. We did type def. Comment out. Okay, that's fine. We're not going to push this up. We're just going to save it locally and amend it later. So we're going to do whip 28, save point, scroll pause, rewrite from core data to dictionary. All right, not pushing it, just saving it. You never know. Machine could die. Who knows? Anything could happen. Don't want to lose all that work. And we don't need this anymore. It's dead. What are they complaining about? Oh, scroll pause. Let's have a declaration category core data properties. Yeah. Did I comment it out and didn't need to? I don't think I needed to comment it out, did I? Scene core data class. I got rid of the import. I got rid of the property. Yeah, right here. I neutralized it. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing I did for line sets in scene, in script. So we're gonna follow that same pattern. So in the core data properties in script, line set was made, yeah, now transient, right? Now transient. This is essentially the same thing I'm doing here in scene. So I want scene core data properties. Let's put the same comment in here. To do now transient. That's a refactoring to do. This is effectively the refactoring. Script, I want to kind of make sure the comment looks the same. Now transient. Okay. So where there's a transient thing here, and it's not in the properties, this is in the core data class. Somewhere around here is where the transient member is defined. This is why breaking this up into multiple files is just super lame. Those are old legacy functions that were there before. I know I added a new one. Must be in core data class. Sorted line sets. Now transient. There it is. Now transient. Okay. So it is a method, not a property, of, which looks like an interface, right? The script interface. So I want to do the same thing. Right. Obviously all this. So I'm going to add it to the end of the scene core data class interface definition. We're going to do the same. We're not going to add those other methods yet until we're sure we need them. And here it is an NS set. This is going to be scroll pauses. Pauses. Where is it? Not seeing group. Seeing group, not seeing group. Sorry. It's a set. Why a set? That just seems dumb. And it's also scroll pause, not scroll pauses, because this is plural, right? A scroll pause is singular. A set's going to be multiple. So shouldn't it be scroll pause set? Scroll pauses? Why make it a set? Okay. Where were we? Back to there. No. What? Where am I? What's going on? What's happening? This is where I wanted to add it, right? I'm confused. Yeah, it looks like this. I just didn't do it, did I? Try again. Try again. And we say scroll pause, which is actually a dictionary. We've typedefed it. And it's all lowercase scroll pause instead of pauses. Try that. Still going to complain about the property implementation. It needs to be, I think it needs to be disabled. Let's look at the property implementation for this guy. Pretty sure it got, yeah. I need to do the same thing over in the other one. Now transient. Here we go, coordinated properties. Where is it? Scene group. I keep tripping up on the wrong one. Here. Now transient. Oh, I did that. Oh, no, but I need to do it on the M file. That's what I mean. That's what needs to happen. There. It doesn't exist. See this header and implementation? What a nightmare. It doubles the coding overhead, the boilerplate for everything. Everything in every object, every class, every method is doubled because of the header module separation. At least in Swift, you don't have to do that. But look at how much code still is there in Objective-C. It's not the fault of the programmers. That was the language they were using at the time. It's what they had. It's what Apple forced down their throats. We're all responsible for that. Okie dokie. NS number. Let's do a 0.0. All right. This is going to be our to-do. How many places are we going to run and do it? Boom. Numeric literal must be prefixed by at. Well, obviously none of these are going to work. So just doing these one-off isn't gonna do the trick. This is a for loop that doesn't have to actually do anything right now. It's not returning a value. We can just comment out the whole damn thing. Let's do that. I don't care if it's unused. Yeah, let's leave the warning in there. Oh, here we go. Here's the core data stuff. Create object in context. Fun. I think this is the primary touch point right here. There's not much here. Look at that. Scroll pause as JSON, scroll pause from JSON. Yeah, this is, I'm staring right at it. This is the main rewrite. It's JSON's coming in. It's going to convert to dictionary. Actually, it's probably going to come in as a dictionary. So I don't have to do anything. Isn't that wonderful? This I can just comment out the whole freaking caboodle. I'm no-opping it, making it do nothing. Do nothing. Build failed. Yeah, I understand. We're not doing this anymore. Copy with zone. It's going to need to be rewritten though. We're going to copy something, we're going to need to copy it. Copy scroll pause from set. Just disable all this. We just want to get through the compile. Let's just get through a clean compile. Again. It's gonna fly. We didn't have to change that much. Yeah, there we go. Got through the compile. Now we can start fixing it. It's going to run into the same error we had before. Let's disable these because we know they're working. And boom, it's crapping on scroll pause. Yeah. All right, so first step is over. We simply killed the code. We deadified the code. We deadified it. Oh, well, it's kind of a euphemism. That's weird. All right. Rehearsal.xcode project. Obviously, since we met stuff, and then rehearsal 3. The commits for this whole task is going to be insane. I've got like 30 save points. I'm ending this first one. I don't think we need this anymore. We pretty much know what we've rewritten, what we're rewriting. Let's get rid of this out file. All right, we're clean. You know what? I think I'm gonna pause and then continue after I unpause. So let me pause the video. Pause. Don't stop. Just pause. All right, I'm unpausing. I took a food break. Let's get rid of this. Where are we at? Scroll pause, rewrite. Okay, we got a bunch of to-dos. I got some background music. Hopefully you can't hear it. I don't think the mic picks it up. Give me a little bit of mood here. Bring it down a little bit. Okay. Should we just look at our to-dos? Let's do a get show. Actually, let's do a get show. Get show.out. All right, JVM. So let's go to just all the to-dos. Transit. Actually, yeah, we need the rewrite ASAP. Okay. Let's start with the JSON part because that's where it's going to be coming in from. So we got scroll pause, scene.json. Scene.json? Yeah, looks like it. Okay. Let's just put some breakpoints and see how this gets called. Scene plus JSON here. This guy. Yeah, he's the big blocks that we commented out. Yeah, let's do that. Breakpoint. Can we break here? Or do we have to break inside? Let's just try that. Because these scroll positions are going to come down from the back end when it pulls down the JSON for the line scenes. A line scene is a scene. So we should actually hit these breakpoints when it synchronizes. But it won't synchronize the line scenes. Well, what about the metadata? Let's see. Let's go ahead and just go into here. I don't know if it's pulled it back from the back end. Let's wipe our local data. Let's just start fresh. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, let's just start fresh. Do I want to kill my login? Wipe it out completely? Yeah, let's do that. Delete that. Just delete it. We'll just start over from scratch, login. Just get fresh data, fresh everything. Set our permissions. Allow. Let us do everything. Full access. We're a nice app. We're not gonna grab your data and sell it to people. We don't do that. We are good. All right. Do I want you to see my login? No. I'm gonna pause. All right, I'm pausing. I'm logged in. It's syncing my scenes. Okay, this is where it's getting local line set. Let's go ahead and disable these breakpoints. This is where we're writing out, we're storing our line sets as files. No, I don't want to save my password. Thank you very much. So it doesn't feel like I was pulling in the line sets. So here we go. We're getting a new script. Original script, going in there. Look at the line sets. This is kind of a problem right at the beginning. Our line sets aren't here. I think we have to restart. This line set synchronization thing's not completed. Some of it's disabled. Do I have to go all the way out to the script and come back? Or do I have to actually restart the app? I might have to restart the app. That's not good. But we know it's still broken. I'm not expecting it to be fully working yet. All right, stop the app, restart it. You know, I think I could have just deleted the local files. I don't think I had to actually delete the database. All right, let's see what kind of synchronization we get without going into the script at all. Remember, the back end is doing its pulled synchronization. It'd be nice to have a diagnostic display showing me that synchronization activity. I mean, we essentially see it here when it's happening. Whoops, I don't want to do that. I just want to clear it. All right, let's go into here. Gesture recognizer warning, lots of warnings. I hate warnings. We got to get rid of those, clean those up. Okay, there's our line sets. We didn't see them before. Let's clean. Let's see what we get. Let's go to 1B. Now we're downloading. Okay, we're getting stuff from the back end. That's what all this is. That's what we expect. I don't see where we're pulling down the JSON for the scroll positions. Maybe these don't have any scroll positions. No, they should have scroll positions. And the sort order is not, well, I don't know if that is the correct sorter. Let's try line 4. No, we're going out to play it. It doesn't seem like we ever went to grab the scroll positions. Yeah, we've already got, now these are just breakpoints. Couldn't set up the player, but we didn't crash like we did before. We don't seem to be getting scroll positions. Let's try again. Oh, this is a different set of line sets. Okay, I'm going to click away. What happened to line 4? I thought line set 1B. Weren't we on 1B? Or was it this one? Maybe it was 2B. Let's try line 1. There's our crash. And there it is on the scroll position. Unavailable. Unavailable stack frame. Prepare for file name, prepare for scene, set current, setup line. There's our line scene. Unavailable, unavailable, unavailable. All right, well, we're going to just put a breakpoint here so we don't crash next time. What is that? Look at that. 2-finger slide? Or what is this doing? It's like oh my God. It's trying to treat this like a web browser. Like file selection. I don't know who thinks this is a good idea. I do not like it. More Xcode critique coming your way. All right, so for some reason, file helper zip. I don't want any of this right now. Audio player, let's close all this stuff. Close other tabs. This is the problem with too many files. Too many files means too many tabs. I'd rather have more stuff in a single file than have a lot of little files all over the place. I used to think this way. I used to think, really granular, really fragment things up. I got to tell you, it just makes development a lot harder. A few files, a few large files, ideally much more high-level code so there's less code. So I have come up with kind of a new thesis recently. Do you want to hear it? Well, if you're listening, you don't really have a choice. And the thesis is this. Most programming happens at the wrong level of abstraction. And the wrong level of abstraction is the middle level. That's where the mainstream languages are designed. That's where the mainstream toolkits are designed. And that's where most of the work being done is, and it's the wrong level. Okay, is this a hot take? I have a few theses that I'm working on. At some point, I may spout my opinions out to the world, so you're the first to hear this. Recently, I've realized, I don't know why it's a recent realization, but I guess it's a wake-up call. We should always be programming in as high a level as possible, high a level of abstraction as possible. The most expressive form of programming, meaning the fewest lines of code to achieve what we want. If you're having to write a lot of code to do, it takes a lot of code to do few things, it's too much code. The other end of the spectrum is down to the metal, low-level coding to tune for performance. So what's the downside of high levels of abstraction? You lose two things. Often you lose performance because you're far away from the metal. Not necessarily, but this often happens. The other is obviously less flexibility, right? To get to a few instructions to do a lot of things, you have to make a lot of default and built-in assumptions. You can't have lots of options and lots of parameters and lots of configurations and lots of choices. And it seems like mainstream development has settled into this middle space, not too high, not too low, right? A good example of the lowest levels would be assembly, obviously, or ultimately microcode assembly. And then from a programmer standpoint, it's going to be C programming, some kinds of C++ programming, some kinds of Rust programming. This is where you don't have garbage collectors, you don't have high-level abstractions, you're pretty close to the metal, you're manipulating memory directly, or you have the ability to manipulate, even Rust, even though it gives you the borrow checker, you still have the ability to directly deal with storage and allocations. In other words, it's not out of your hands. And that's where you're able to typically wield the best performance, because you can tell the machine exactly what it needs to do when it does it, right? You're in von Neumann mode. You're not in Alonzo Church lambda calculus mode. You are in von Neumann mode, which is the imperative description of exactly what the CPUs are going to be doing. That's the lowest level of control. Obviously, building high-level applications is extremely tedious, so we rise up above that. At the end of the spectrums, we have very high-level programming like the array languages, APL, BQN, J. A few operations does a lot for us. A few pieces of syntax does a lot for us, sometimes to magnitudes of difference. It could be very expressive. Ideally, we should be writing most of our code up there, right? We should be able to get more done with less code, but when we can't, we have to drop below. And what I feel is what's happening is, rather than realizing drop down when you need to, otherwise stay as high as you can. It's kind of my modern philosophy. I'm going to push this idea going forward. But most development seems to have settled in this middle zone. We drop down from the highest level, right? I mean, this isn't really a high-level language. Look at how much tedium we're having to do. All right, look at how much ceremony we have to go through, how much code we have to write to do simple things. But it's not the lowest level. In the case of Swift, we have ARC, automatic reference counting. So a form of automated memory management, right? Lighter weight than garbage collection. On the Kotlin side, on the Java side, on the Go side, on the Python side, on the JavaScript side, you have garbage collection. You don't have to worry about allocations, but you also don't have control over allocations. You're at the mercy of the garbage collector. You're at the mercy of the timings of when things are created and deleted. When you go to a language like Zig, it's a different model. It's closer to C, where you can specify certain types of allocations and you have control over it. So I would put Zig in the same category. Zig, Rust, C, some forms of C++, meaning not deep frameworks and deep class hierarchies where you're trying to abstract above all of that and using a lot of the features. I mean, C has ARC, right? It certainly has shared pointer, has unique pointers, and that's ARC. So it's got the capabilities, but it's a grab bag, right? You use it when you want it. You don't use it when you don't want it. You could still get down and tweak pointers if you wanted to. You can always drop to C from C++. So you're not prevented from getting lower. That's why C++ is such a mess, right? You often see a mixture. It takes kind of a code standard rules or discipline or enforcement to say we're going to only use these parts of the language, we're going to code in these idioms and these patterns, and we're going to avoid these. Because at any time somebody could be using all the automatic allocation stuff and then suddenly drop to pointer manipulation. Might suddenly make a call to malloc and free. It's not going to stop you from doing that. The compiler will absolutely let you get away with that. And so you get this schizophrenic code that's all over the place. And it relies on discipline. Languages like Go, Python, no, it's out of your hands. Unless you make an FFI call outside the boundary of the language itself, you're not going to get around the garbage collector. It's in your way. And you want to do bit manipulation. Let's say you want to manipulate a 48-bit value, right? How are you going to do that? Just 48 bits. You can't do that, right? You're going to be dealing with primitives that are sized to convenient sizes for the CPU and the machine, 64-bit integers, 32-bit integers. You might be able to logically do the idea of bit-like operations, but you can't control it at that level. But you're not really that high a level. You're still dealing with the for loops and the if conditions and the error handling and all. You haven't gotten above, really risen up above that, unless you make sophisticated frameworks and libraries, in which case you've just created a DSL. Sure, you're programming in Swift or Python, but you're really programming in the domain-specific language you've created, right? The actual programming language you're using has become a substrate. I mean, that is what object-oriented programming is. For the most part, it's creating DSLs. It doesn't force you to create a DSL, but it really pushes you in that direction. And so you're creating your own language at that point, which is why most frameworks are terrible, because languages are hard to do right. When you do the minimal just to get something working, you get it working, but it's going to be awkward and full of all kinds of clunky kludges and problems that you may end up ironing out for years. I'm not saying we shouldn't make high-level abstractions. Even in functional programming, I try to make this high-level functions as possible that break her down into middle-level functions or break down into lower-level functions. But it's a little cleaner and more straightforward at a function and separate data structure level than it is trying to combine those into meaningful abstractions. That was the promise that OO brought that failed. And I struggled with that failure for a long time. It's hard enough to get a good function library and get a good set of data structures, but trying to combine them together into combined units in a meaningful way and make it reusable, well, I used to work with a guy who said, design for use, don't design for reuse. He said that a long time ago, and I really should have listened to that, because I went down the whole full framework, full DSL, full abstract everything sort of approach. I'm trying to find a balance somewhere in that. But the point is, I would rather be doing this application logic at a higher level and only drop down the lower levels when I need to. So in my ideal scenario, you're mostly programming in a high-level language, and then when you need to tune or to tweak in a way that's not allowed at the highest level, then you drop down for a short amount of code, tune and tweak what you need to, and then come back up, right? So I guess it would be, an analogy would be diving. Stay up on the surface where there's oxygen, dive down deep for a little bit to get what you need, and come back up and breathe the oxygen again. And I feel that mainstream development is stuck in this middle zone. It's kind of the worst of both worlds, because honestly, it's not fun. This is the least fun kind of programming. It's fun to program at a high level because you're incredibly productive. You feel like you're getting a lot done with a little amount of effort. It's fun to program it at a very low level because you feel like you're in total control. And when you're focused on just manipulating these bits to those bits or tuning this little part of an algorithm to get it that much more faster, it's a very focused problem. It's very satisfying. You can see a direct set of results in terms of performance improvement or making something lighter weight, consuming less resources. It's very satisfying, right? Your progress is satisfying because you're not focusing on trying to build a lot of features. When you're doing low-level tuning, your focus is tuning at the lowest level, right? You're not even worrying about a feature at that point. You're worrying about some aspect of it, tightening up its memory usage, eliminating overhead, making it faster, use less bandwidth, making it more responsive, making it more parallel. It's very enjoyable programming. I can't ever think of a time when I was coding in assembler or doing low-level C programming on compilers and operating systems that it wasn't fun. It was always fun to me. And then the highest level, again, working in array languages and being able to express algorithms very mathematically and make a lot of progress quickly is also very satisfying. It's this middle zone that sucks. And this is where most of us live. We're not building out capability as quickly as the high level. We're not as satisfied with the results we get twiddling bits at the lowest level. We're stuck in this middle zone. It is literally the area of greatest mediocrity. Okay, preach over. If you were listening, well, back to work. My thoughts are percolating in my head. All right. Gripe. What am I doing? I'm trying to see why the JSON for the scroll pause never got called for the scene. Focus. Script scene JSON. There we go. So who uses this? Scroll pause as JSON. Let's get rid of that. Go away. Find grep. Let's look for everything. What do we want? Scroll pause as JSON. Who calls you? File helper. I bet we disabled that code. Yeah, I wonder why it's not getting called. All right. UI app. This does not belong here. File helper zip, for some reason, is at the most global part of the system, the app. File helper.zip.m. I bet we're going to see some commented out code in here. Get scroll positions, get scroll positions. All right, so I removed that. Scroll pause as JSON. It's probably the other one that I want, right? As. Yeah. Big block of commented out code. No wonder we're not getting the scroll pauses. Well, this is what we got to deal with. All right. Rewrite it now. Let's do it. Prefer to use if-defs instead of the those guys. Let's do an end if, because we can turn it up, we can toggle it. That's the nicer feature of it. If true this time. Let's see what kind of compile the errors we get now. Aha. Line scene audio file name, line scene audio file name, length, property audio file name. Zip line scene. Okay, so this is the opposite. This is taking something below and sending it up. I don't want to worry about that right now. I just want to worry about the stuff coming down. So we want the other guy, line scene JSON. We want add scroll pause from JSON. This is who we want. There we go. Why are you not getting called? Unzip data. It should be getting called. Add scroll positions to scene from JSON. Remove JSON file. File manager, default manager. JSON file. What are we talking about here? Let's just get into here and see what's going on. Well, I think it's already pulled these files down. Let's try line 3. Set of line set reader. I think it's already pulled all these files down, so they all exist. Yeah, we're just gonna crash. All right, I think I can delete local files. I think I added that to the breaker. It should delete all local files. Breaker, there's a breaker not working. Oh, that's right. For some reason, I can't click on the breaker button up here on the emulator. There's something untouchable about this particular mode. That sucks. It must be something to do with the zone up here. Doesn't like I can click here, right? Yeah. I think I need to move the breaker down. Let me move that breaker down. So this thing I call the breaker, it's like a breaker in a house, like a breaker panel. And it's where you've got diagnostic features basically built in. And that's going to be under side stuff here, app UI. Breaker button, breaker panel, if breaker. Oh, because this only exists in the debug builds. right? Yeah, I think I have this. This is a preprocessor def in there, but obviously it's creating it. So yeah, let's just move it down. Let's go. Let's drop it. Hey, there's a cat outside the door. Let's go 48. Let's see what we get. There we go. Can we click on it? Yeah. Yeah, there's something about not being clickable out there. Okay, let's delete all files. So this should have wiped out all the local files. Oh, including like the core database. Interesting, because that's a local file. Huh. Yeah, we got nothing. Let's just start over. Let's see if it requires a login again. No, it's got our login. And now it should go out and sync. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So yeah, that works better than logging out, honestly. Okay. Let's go get the file. Let's do a line set. Now this is this weird thing where I have to restart before it's going to come back with the line sets. Yeah, this is my breaker box. Get rid of that. Start over. Yeah, it needs work. It's a lot of work. Lots of warnings. Now are we going to see line sets here? Yes. Okay, so when I go to pull down a line set and it goes out to retrieve the file, it should try to unzip it. Why didn't it do that? We go to line 4. Huh. I think I'm probably dealing with deleted files again, or code that's commented out. File helper zip, unzip data. Why is unzip data not being called? It's not getting called at all. What the hell? Seen in zip file. I'm missing something here. Let's look at where unzip data is. Yeah, I could use Xcode, but I don't trust it. Well, we're actually called on the platform from the Kotlin side, right? We got a file coming down, we're unzipping it. Wouldn't have put it in there if it wasn't being used. Are we not getting here? Failed to convert unzip data? I didn't see that message. Where else is unzip data being called? File service, AF network manager, Alamo, unzip data, line scene right here. Yeah. We are pulling down the line scenes. Why are we not hitting it? I thought we confirmed these files were coming down. All we confirmed was that we took care of the replica value, right? The local replica. Did we actually not successfully verify that we got the file and unzipped it? I thought we dealt with that. That's what happens when I go too long between working sessions. My fault. What line are we on here? I don't really show line numbers in my find grep. Should do that. AF Network Manager M. Are we in AF Network Manager M? We are. What are we looking for? Unzip data. Unzip data is commented out. Well. I rewrote this on the Kotlin side. I did rewrite it on the Kotlin side. That's what I did, didn't I? pretty sure this has already been replaced. I haven't deleted this code, obviously, because I haven't verified that it works properly, but rewrite this now on the Kotlin side. I did. Let's change this to say rewritten. But still a question. Is it working? Let's find out. Let's wipe the files again. I want to make sure we start from fresh. I always spin the spinner to get the hamster wheel going. Hamster wheel go, hamster wheel go. All right, let's just get rid of all local files. Start over. We also know on the first pass, we're going to have nothing in the line sets. Does this ever even get called? Let's put a breakpoint here just in case. Right there. I don't think this gets called anymore, but I'm not sure. Yeah, we gotta start. It's like we have to, we delete the files, we gotta restart twice just to get to a persistent state that we can use. Okay. Line sets are dictionaries, not core data objects. We're going to click on that and it's going to go out and pull all the line scenes. Right? There we go, unzip data, see being called. So how is it this isn't getting called? It's getting called. Is our breakpoint not working? All right, so we're not getting data failures. File helper unzip data. Is this going to be there it is. I see it. I see it. Am I missing something? Is there another version? Is there a file helper in Swift that's getting called instead? Is that what's happening? Let's just go back to the debugger. Let's just step in. Oh, goddamn overload. Yeah, refactored from original support line scene as a dictionary. Then why do I still have this? Okay, so I'm in the wrong spot. But the problem is this one pulls down scroll positions. Here, this does not. No, there we go, scroll positions. Okay, okay. Oh, right here, right here. Boom, there it is. I didn't see this was twice. Remember, I copied it. I had to copy it because there were two different calls from two different network managers. Yeah, oh God, the duplicated code. So this is one version of unzip data. It was response, unzip data and file helper for scene. And the other one was what, for line scene? For line scene, which as it turns out is nothing. Oh, right. They're not. Now I'm remembering. I have to just go back and rewatch my old videos. That's one of the reasons I make them, actually refresh my brain. I remember now, scene and line scene, there's no inheritance between them, but they have a common set of properties. And because Objective-C classes are not static, there's no static type enforcement, it's duck typing. Right, as long as it has the properties for which messages are being sent that can be handled, doesn't have to be of a particular type. You can swap it out and you can say, you think this is a reference to that type, but I put a reference to another type and it duck types. As long as it pretends to be like that type, it's going to work. And that's what happened. And that's why we have these two overloads. And I only refactored the line scene one, not the scene one. So this is when scenes are not part of a line set, and this is when scenes are part of a line set. Two types of scenes. pretty much the same, except one's subservient to the line set and the other one is not. And this is the one that we cared about, and this is the one that I disabled. So let's just keep going. All right, if no scroll pause data, but there is scroll pause data. Oh, I see. This is just error checking, error checking, error checking. Get scene audio file, remove old audio file. Let's just step all through this stuff. Pretty sure it does all this. Let's just confirm. Yeah, good, good, good. All right, let's delete breakpoints. Let's just keep going. Step through. Yeah, we're good. So we get a scene audio file. This stuff all still works. It's all code. I haven't rewritten it. I'm not going to break stuff. Yeah. Where am I? Am I here? I'm here. Okay. Keep going. All right. Looks good. Not pushing out any errors here. We get down to here and we skip this. This is exactly what's missing. Right. So I believe, oh, managed object context. Right. Yeah. Add scroll pause from JSON. So this is, in fact, right where it needs to be rewritten. And of course, that's no good because we're not passing in managed object context. This is here. Add scroll pause from JSON. Did we rewrite this? Scroll. Huh, wait. Scroll pause, add scroll pause. This looks like a class level method, right? That's a class. This is a method on the class. I'm guessing this is going to delegate into that scene guy. Doesn't call this directly. I don't care about that. We only care about this. All right, so we got to look at the dead code. Scroll pause. Alrighty. Probably here. Right there. Yep, here's the full signature. This is what we have to replicate this. What does this do? It looks like it just packages up arguments and delegates the call. This is all this core data stuff. This is our CRUD. Well, this is our create object in context, create object in context, line scene, line scene. Scroll pause array. All right, this is what we get right here. We're getting this JSON. So what we want to do instead is persistent. We don't want to do any of this crap. This is just storing it in the database. Right. This is where we're going to store it as a file, just like we did for line sets. We can ignore this crap. See how much work is done just to deal with persistence. Right, you've got an ORM supposed to help you, but look at how much work you have to do to wrangle the ORM. Is this less work than literally directly making some SQL statements and just pushing it into a relational database? It doesn't look like it. This looks like more. I could just say insert, right? But I can't. And I'm going to be even simpler. I'm going to say stored as a file. I got it as JSON, came down as JSON. I'm storing it. So that's it. End of deal. End of story. All right. Back to where we came from. Where did we come from? This hasn't been called yet. Where were we? I get lost so quickly. No, we don't care about that. Not there. We know this is working. Get rid of that breakpoint. We're going to store string as file. All right, let's just see how we did it for the line set. Store string as file. Where is it? There in the facade. It's already where we are, right? File service. What? Wait. There it is. It's under script. Yeah, so remember I was saying there are a bunch of helpful functions that I added to script to write the line sets. I've got to do the same thing in scene to write the scroll pauses. So it's almost identical. Kind of feels like it could be generalized, but let's just copy and paste for now. That's what we always say. Copy and paste for now. We'll come back to it. Do we ever come back to it? When you don't, this is when you end up with a mess. What am I looking for? Script. This is dead. Ignore the dead. Bury the dead. They stink up the place. What movie is that from? Scriptity, script. Where are we? Tells me right here, core data class. Yeah. So we got these guys. Yeah, this is exactly right. I'm going to CRUD, new, which is create, replace, which is update, store, which is store. Yeah, it's the same logic. So we're going to put that in scene. And they are exactly the same types. They're dictionaries. It's one of the nice things about using a general type. I should be able to have a common set of things here, but for now it's going to be scroll pause. Place scroll pause, new scroll pause. Theory, writing new code to eliminate excess old code. Doesn't feel like it yet. Feels like I'm growing, not shrinking. And we are still using the type defs because why are we using the type defs? Because we're in Objective-C. I mean, yeah, I could do a replace, be quicker, but when I'm typing, I'm thinking. When I'm doing tedious typing like this, it's kind of helping me mentally replay what I'm doing here. New scroll pause. So it's kind of relaxing. It's like meditation. Okay. And we're literally just going to cut and paste probably. Where's the stuff I added? Where is it? Oh, scene. It's not there yet. Here we go. I am going to cut and paste. This is pathetic. I should be able to generalize this. Yeah, this could be generalized. There's no difference. There's really no difference. I'm going to make a comment. I don't want to over-engineer this right now. I'm not sure it would be over-engineering. It would just be engineering. You know what? I don't think I added the actual retrieval stuff either. Yeah, this is all the logic of stuff being stored in files. It's identical. The only thing that's different is instead of scripts line sets, it's scene scroll pauses. They're both dictionaries. They're child collections within an owning object. Both cases, the owning objects are core data. In both cases, the child classes are not core data. They're simple dictionaries. God, I really don't want to cut and paste. I'm just fighting it. I'm feeling like, can I? I mean, what prevents me from generalizing this? It's line sets in script. It's scroll pauses, separate members. Can that be passed in as a reference to a more generalized function? Ooh, I hate this. I hate it. I'm fighting. Okay, let's just do it. Go refactor and try to generalize it after the fact. I don't want to do it. I don't want to cut and paste. I hate this. Let's do it anyway. Do it. Just bend over and do it. I literally look at what's happening. Paste. And now I'm going to search and replace. This search and replace, I hate using the Xcode IDE. I'm going to actually use Vim. Yeah, let's do that. Where are we? It tells us up here. Remember from last time, I didn't even see this little guy. Rehearsal source legacy object C core data. Core data. There we are. And it is scene plus core data class. This guy. Yeah. Open in Vim, please. It defaults to Xcode. Ooh. Oh, it's an M file. Huh. I thought well, that's interesting. It should recognize that as an Objective-C. I thought for sure, gvim-rc. No. vim-rc. Yeah, I should have a color scheme for Objective-C. Must not be recognizing an M file as Objective-C? How could it not be recognizing an M file as Objective-C? I got a scheme. It's not this color. Huh. Syntax. Show file types. Objective-C++. Objective-C++. Where are we at? Objective-C++. I thought for sure I had opened this up, an M file, and it recognized this Objective-C++ and gave me this color scheme. Maybe not. There we go. Now I want to replace line sets with scroll pauses. Scroll pauses. Well, line sets is an array of set. No, it's a pointer to a set. Should I call it scroll pause set? That's sets. I'm confused. Let's open this in MacVim. See, this one it treats as Objective-C, the header file, Objective-C++. I guess the file detection take that off. Okay, it's called scroll pause. Well, let's rename it. Scroll pause set. This is a pointer to a set of pointers. Pointer, I always see pointer when I see star. It's an arc reference. This is a reference to a single set. It's a set of scroll pauses. It's not a set of line sets. So should I say scroll pause set? Yeah, let's do that. Scroll pause, yeah, let's just call it scroll pause set. That makes more sense. Okay. So line sets becomes scroll pause set. I think I didn't want to say line set set. That's why it's line sets. So scroll pause set. Let's do that. All right. And obviously this becomes scroll pause. And do we have line set anywhere else? We still do. We have the lowercase. Line set becomes scroll pause. Other than that, it's the same. Now, what's different here is this is truly the difference, right? And this can be injected. This can be parameterized. So instead of saying line set created, we're going to say, whoops. I always hit that caps lock on this Mac keyboard. All right, scroll pause. And are we still going to identify it with a creation date? That I don't know. I don't think that's going to be correct. So that we have to figure out. But most importantly, what I really want to do is say to do, consolidate, copy, block, cut and paste. There's gonna be some nice way to say that. Cut and paste, cap, cut and pasted from script, caps locked again, script plus core and data at class.m. I'm going to say the same thing in the header. So this is one of the things I don't like about MacBem. The usual copy key commands are Command C, Command V, right? So if I do a Command C, I should be in the clipboard. This is why I'm going to switch to Emacs. There's no buffer sharing between windows. And in theory, if I do a Control V, it works. Okay. Because if you look at the actual keys for cut and paste that have been assigned here, no, under Mac, maybe it's under Windows, it drives me crazy. It's like a 4-character sequence. Here it's actually, yeah, Control C, Control V, Control X, or Command, sorry. Command, not Control. Yeah, so it's actually easier on Mac. As soon as I switch to Windows and I use Gvim, I can't stand the key sequence that's used. Now, obviously, I can go into configure and redo that, but I'm lazy. I'm a lazy person. All right, now transient. I don't know why this is a to-do. This is not a to-do because this is how we're going to continue to do it. So the to-do is that we'd like to consolidate this. Let's be real, dry. Okay. Consolidate is a fancy term for dry. For the most part, the rest of this, maybe it's not so dryable. This is just a really awkward syntax. Filtered set using predicate. I think my objection is mostly the Objective-C calling syntax. just find it really hard to read. Maybe I'm just so used to seeing C++, Java, JavaScript, Swift, all the other calling sorts of syntaxes. I'm just awkward. I don't like it. Obviously Kotlin is much more like Java and C++. Oh, and it's not script. In this case, we're saying scene. That is the parent type, scroll pause is the child. So obviously we need a scene ID going in here. That's where we're saying script ID. Is there a scene ID? That's a good question. There may not be. All right, I just opened up BIM just to make it easier to do the replaces the way I like it, instead of having to figure out how to use the UI here. This is definitely not going to compile. Oh God, I forgot. So I edited this outside of Swift, but Swift auto saves and auto loads. Let's see what happens. Let's see if I lost the changes I just made. No, see, there you go. There's the changes I made in Vim. All right, it's gonna choke. And we're gonna see where it's gonna choke here. Eventually, all of this code's gonna get replaced with all the core data stuff's gonna go away. So I'm stepping into this. Scroll pause, no, yeah, that's right. I renamed it, I know. Scroll pause set, all objects, yeah. Right. So it's tripping up on this. It hasn't quite caught up to the other changes we made. The compiler should slam into that here. Build failed, I know. I see there's like 12 messages. There they are. Oh, look at that. You got to click on this for them to pop up. Okay. What are we looking at here? Copy to script, scene core. Okay, so we broke this in a bunch of places by doing this. Well, scroll pause set, maybe that's just the rename. Okay, here we go. Now we're down to the meat. Shared facade, load scroll pause array. Scroll pause set. We renamed it, but we didn't rename it. This is the method. There's an implementation missing. See how many separate places you have to touch stuff to make one thing? It's too much. So here we have a method declared, not implemented, methods declared, not implemented. Here we have methods declared, not implemented, but we also need the actual data member inside the implementation, which I believe is at the top. There it is, implementation. Now transient, I need to do the same thing, proceed. This is what I mean about not being high level. This is not high level. This is tedium. It's exactly what I don't want to be doing. Yeah. Wait a minute. How did that look over here? The syntax is so weird. Like this is implementation, and this is part of the implementation. It's the implementation of the methods, but the implementation of any local properties, data members, instance data, whatever you want to call this. Every object-oriented language calls it something different. is completely enclosed inside these braces. You would think that's the end of this implementation declaration, but it's not. This is just the beginning and end of the declaration of these data members. So that's what throws me off. It makes it look like this is a freestanding function, but it's not. It's part of this implementation. See the plus? And plus for class and minus for instance. It's weird. I don't like you, Objective-C. All right. Yeah, so exactly. Scene, churn, sheen, and this is scroll, pause, set. It's a single set. We don't need it to do here. We don't need it to do on the other one. I will say now transient. Let's update the comment on script as well. Yeah. I mean, it has been refactored. This is the refactor. So, but we want it, we want to shout about it. Not shout, but emphasize. Now transient. All right. Line sets here. There we go. Yeah, load, scroll, pause, array. I have to look at that. So we don't have a scene ID. This is going to be an issue. How are these identified? What do we have? We have a script ID, and that's going to be in script properties, right? There's going to be a script ID of some kind in here. There it is. It's a string. But scenes, how are they identified? What do we got? It's an ID. We have a display name. They are tied to a script. Scenes always tied to scripts? Well, of course they are. There's scenes for scripts. But a script is going to have many scenes. So how do they distinguish one scene from the other? What's a unique identification here? Ugh. Icky, icky, icky. Line scenes. Well, we identify our, remember this is for line scenes, not for scenes. Although scenes have scroll pauses in them too. What a mess. All right, let's go back to line scenes, core data properties. Yeah, see how it's duck typed? It's pretty much the same as scene. Well, it's a subset. Line scene is a subset of scene. Exposition initial page is added offline. It looks to me like it's tied to a script. This is not fun. Sort number, creation date, display name. I don't feel like any of these have to be unique. Let's look at the core data class. Copy to script. Let's look at the CRUD for this. For scenes themselves. What is identifying information? Copy with zone. Yeah, I disabled this. Although this should still work. Copy dot. I think if I say scroll pause. Is that? Can I do it like this? Do Try to do self dot. I wonder if that's going to work. I just want to get rid of this to do if I can. Yeah, I did place dot with that. Because dot is message sending and self is a direct reference. Well, at least it's telling me what to do. All right, I'm getting bothered by someone else right now. All right, I can't redo this right now. I'll figure it out at some point. Well, I've got to stop recording. I've got to stop doing what I'm doing, even though I'm deep in it. I've got a non-maskable interrupt. If you know what that is, that goes back to the days of writing device drivers. That's a long time ago. All right, we're saving this. We'll come back to it tomorrow. That's my promise to myself. We'll see if I live up to it. But I know what I'm trying to do here. I know what I got to do here. So, yeah, I'm going to save it, whip it, save point it. And you don't need to see that because it's boring. So, talk to you tomorrow, I hope. I wish you the best of luck. I wish myself the best of luck. Bye-bye.